The Titans will fall into the trap. Today I will show you and explain those new secrets that have been found in the new episode 64 that we hadn't noticed. The Supreme Skibidi seems to be wounded, and at the same time it has set a trap for the Talking Titan and Camera Titan. Additionally, we have new information about Taafuk Boom, and a clue warns us of the epic return of the TV Titan. So we will talk about these and more secrets today. So if you want to know about all of this and more, stay tuned until the end of the video. But if you enjoy this type of content, I invite you to leave a like and subscribe to bring you more content like this. The Supreme Skibidi is wounded! With the arrival of the latest episode 64 of Skibidi Toilet, we have discovered several secrets hidden within it, which helped us better understand the hidden story unfolding in this great series. However, there were several secrets in that episode that we hadn't noticed. That's why in this video I will explain and discuss those secrets and mysteries that we missed. We will start with a hidden message in that episode that I didn't see. In the previous video that I recommended above, I showed and explained all the secrets I found and talked about some signs from shopping centers that were on the street. In that video I mentioned that we should pay attention because hidden messages are sometimes concealed in them. And that's exactly what happened. Right after the Camera Titan defended itself with its shield, the Talking Titan flew off to position itself behind that Skibidi toilet. In this scene we could see the word trap on this sign, which wasn't there before, but just when the Camera Titan grabbed the explosive Skibidi, that message disappeared. This confirms that it is a secret message given to us by some mysterious being that usually hides in these episodes of Skibidi Toilet, and as we said in the previous video, these messages are possibly written by Taafuk Boom himself, the figure hiding in the background in Skibidi episodes, as we saw that he can manipulate these signs or screens to show his picture. So maybe he was warning us that there's a trap. Though, could it be referring to the trap of the explosive Skibidi when he pulled the chain and it was about to explode? Or maybe it could be another trap that is coming in the future. However, the mystery doesn't end here. So we're gonna theorize why this message said trap. And it's because if we remember, something very strange happened in this episode. The Supreme Skibidi escaped from home without even trying to fight the Titan. This isn't the first time he's done it, since in episode 57 part 2, when they finally released the Talking Titan, the Supreme Skibidi realized he had no chance against them, so he escaped. Maybe he thought the same this time and decided to run away, although there's a possibility that he actually moved away so the Titans would follow him. Right at the end of the episode, the Talking Titan seemed to still be able to see the Supreme Skibidi in the distance because he pointed in that direction and told the Camera Titan to follow him to chase after that Skibidi. This could mean that the Supreme Skibidi is leading the Titans into a trap, which he usually does. For example, when he set a trap for the TV Titan in episode 47, maybe that message saying trap on the sign warned us that the Supreme Skibidi was setting up this trap. With all this, we can conclude that the Supreme Skibidi is setting a trap for the Camera and Talking Titans. But this isn't the only secret we can discover about the Supreme Skibidi from this episode 64. In fact, there's something more. Everything indicates that the Chief Skibidi is injured. Maybe some of you had already noticed this, but for those who haven't, let me explain them. But before, if you find this video very interesting, I invite you to like it right now and subscribe and hit the bell to be one of the first to know all your new Skibidi Toilet secrets and leaks. The last time the Chief Skibidi used the laser beam power from his eyes was in episode 47, but the TV Titan managed to approach him and use the power of red light directly towards this Skibidi, which may have caused his eyes to burn in a certain way. Perhaps this is why we haven't seen the Supreme Skibidi use this power of laser beams from his eyes again. Just after the Talking Titan attacked the TV Titan in that same episode, the Supreme Skibidi attacked him again, but this time only using the laser beams from his cannons and not his eyes. Even when the Supreme Skibidi noticed the cameraman's point of view, he attacked him using the cannons only. After this, we saw this Skibidi Toilet wearing sunglasses in episode 57 part 1, which he probably wore in case another TV Titan appeared and he wanted to attack him with the light power. These sunglasses protected the Skibidi. Obviously, this also prevented him from using the power of laser beams from his eyes since he had glasses on. Then in part 2 of episode 57, we saw how the Camera Titan used the blue firepower from the reactor in his chest and burned the whole face of the Supreme Skibidi, even hitting him with his hammer, causing him to explode and fall to the ground. And in that same episode, we saw how the Supreme Skibidi got back up, but he had a worn and burned face and he no longer had the protection for his eyes or ears. Maybe this, combined with the previous TV Titan attack, caused the Supreme Skibidi to no longer be able to use the power of laser beams from his eyes. This aligns with what we saw in episode 60, because right when the Astro Toilets grabbed the Supreme Skibidi's head, he couldn't use the laser beam from his eyes to defend himself since he couldn't use this power anymore. This would have helped him escape from those Astro Toilets, which means the Skibidi toilet is very injured and he can no longer use this power unless somehow the Skibidi scientist manages to repair or cure him, something he hasn't done so far. Another secret I hadn't noticed in episode 64 was about the explosive Skibidi toilet when it launched these missiles at the camera Titan, which defended itself with its energy shield. If we zoom in at this part and slow it down, we can observe that after this missile explodes, it seems like some kind of green vomit falls from it. This could mean that this missile actually contained toxic acid to hurt the camera Titan. This makes sense since this type of acid worked to hurt that Titan, as we saw in episode 55, and the Skibidi toilets tried to use this tactic again by putting this acid inside the missile. Speaking of Titans, there are also comments about the possibility of the TV Titan returning in the next episodes. This is a theory we've talked about before, and we are sure that there are fewer and fewer episodes left for this Titan to return. However, it seems that in episode 64 there was a clue that warned us about this, because when we see these signs or screens changing and showing Dafukboom's image, it could be a kind of reference or hint that the TV Titan will return, since these are like screens. I invite others to write down below whether you think this is the case or if it's just a coincidence. Another theory mentions that what they are seeing on screen seems as if Dafukboom deliberately wanted us to see him. This time he was very close to the cameraman's point of view and he was clearly visible in the episode. Perhaps he did this on purpose to finally resolve the doubt of how he moved so quickly from one place to another. This confirmed that Dafukboom can indeed teleport. So this makes a lot of sense, but how is it possible for him to do this? Another thing to note is that just when Dafu disappears to the left of him, a green aura can be seen, similar to what we've seen in previous episodes. However, no matter how much I zoom in on the video and watch it in slow motion, I can't see that green aura mentioned, although it makes sense that it would reappear, and maybe this is how Dafuk manages to teleport. A green light appears around him and then he disappears and teleports to another place. This is why we've seen him in different episodes with a green light around him. Regarding the question of how Dafukboom has these teleportation powers and can modify signs and screens around him, this is probably because Dafukboom is only observing how this world develops with the war and collects recordings as a simple memory. Maybe this character can even teleport through different dimensions and be a kind of god or omnipresent being. In other words, he's not just an ordinary human but something more superior. This makes a lot of sense because Dafukboom is basically the creator or the god of this series, because he created these Skibidi toilet videos himself, and maybe that's why he can get into his videos and modify them at will. But maybe he records all of this for another reason, perhaps to have evidence of all the experiments he has done with these Skibidi toilets. I invite you to write your thoughts on all of this down below in the comments. And anyway, it's clear that Dafukboom is not a normal person and has superpowers. It could even be that he is the god of this world. We don't know exactly what will happen in the next episodes, but what we do know is that the arrival of the TV Titan is getting closer, and the Supreme Skibidi is setting a trap for the camera and talking Titans. Perhaps they will fall into it and end up being seriously injured. When they are on the verge of defeat and there is no more hope, suddenly the TV Titan appears to save them. That could be what happens in the next episodes. This way, the three Titans could join forces to finally defeat the Skibidi toilet army. If there was at least one secret in this video that you didn't know about Skibidi Toilet, I challenge you to like the video right now and subscribe and hit the bell to be one of the first to see all of this. I am Jorge Isaac 115. See you in the next video, friends. Greetings to everyone and goodbye.